Yeah, it definitely just seems to play nicer. And we just cut between stuff. Oh yeah, so this is much more in real time. This image is reversed. Interesting. And it's not backwards to the viewers. Oh, okay. So it's just
Ghost Hunters Adventure Club and the Secret of the Grand Chateau. Written by Dr. Cecil H. Mills. Narrated by Dr. Cecil H. Mills. Book, so I'll put this right here so we can avoid that altogether. Hello, dear listener. It's your old friend, Dr. Cecil H. Mills, celebrated wordsmith and oftentimes controversial figurehead in the literary world. You're no doubt browsing through this novel in the young adult section of your bookstore or in your audiobook app, so you may not have heard of my work before. You see, I'm used to having my books placed in the adult fiction section. While I may not have done much or any research on what exactly constitutes a young adult reader, I assume that since my old books were placed above a normal human adult's shoulder height, they must have been unreachable to you, which is fine. My adult books are very good books, okay? So good that I was inevitably unrestricted by form or marketability. I received carte blanche to let fire flow from my fingers and beauty seep from my pores. It was glorious, the work I could do in my 1,000-page tomes. The page was my medium and truth was my ink. Then some things happened that I don't really want to talk about, and gambling debts being what they are, I found myself taking whatever work the publishers would buy from me. So here I am, writing a mystery book for adolescent readers, and not a nuanced examination of humanity's descent into the comforting, venomous clutches of technology as the myth of the American dream fades away. I didn't even want to write that anyway. No siree. Okay, kid, go take this book up to the cashier or check out on your online store or whatever and buy it so that we can get started. I'll wait. Are we good? Did you pay for this? Great. Now, before we begin the story of the Ghost Hunters Adventure Club, I think it's important that something be said about the Watts brothers, the co-founders of said club. Not about their past, mind you, which remains relatively unimportant and partially expunged from police records thanks to their both recently turning 18. I wish instead to talk about them now, in the present, in the hopes that it might give you a hint as to why they do what they do. Perhaps the best way to achieve that is to paint a portrait of them in a specific moment at a specific time. Currently, JJ and Valentine Watts are puttering up a frigid mountain road as fast as their decades-old motorcycle beneath them will allow. JJ, the eldest by a short amount of time, is at the handlebars and is just barely keeping them from careening into a snowbank. He has a scar across the bridge of his nose. He doesn't like to talk about how he got it. Valentine, glasses fogged, clings for dear life behind him while he tracks the minute-by-minute loss of feeling in his fingers. He had full use of them once. For most of his life, actually. Riding up a winding road into increasingly inclement conditions is an abstract, rough existence that is a statistical outlier to his usual, more terrestrial, rough existence. The motorcycle will be ignored after the first couple minutes of the story. However, it's worth noting that it was received as remuneration following a game of dice in a short fistfight. Valentine shouts something that JJ either can't hear or chooses not to. Probably something about his fingers. Neither are equipped for a ride up to higher altitude, wearing matching sweaters for a reason that will be deduced later by someone smarter than them. They're almost to where they are going. Now I'll stop here as I feel I might be outstaying my welcome, dear listener. It's probably a good primer for these brothers, which, and I can't believe I almost forgot to say this, but it's a little dubious as to whether or not they're actually brothers in the first place. But that will be definitively figured out some other time. With all that being said, it's time to begin the tale of the Watts boys and their crime-solving organization, the Ghost Hunters Adventure Club. Now allow your humble narrator to see if he can shut his trap for a minute, switch elegantly to past tense, and let the brothers do the talking.